almost there. Hey you. Come on, sit down. You're sitting at the grown-up table. That means you, John. Sit down.
Sorry.
I'm your host, Jesse Pimpinella, and as always, my partner in crime,
John Jacobs.
Thank you so much for everybody joining in. Tonight is a very special night. Number one, we're back after a 1 week hiatus. We need a break. Give us a break about that. And number two, we are doing our ever fun comedy night at the grown-ups table. This is going to be a absolute blast. The comedians we have on here are hardworking comedians right now, and they are killer. Just to list some of them off: Amanda Ramirez, Bill Arrundale, and Chris Coen. Very funny people. Now, before we start the show, I want to say make sure you like and subscribe. Like and subscribe us. When you like and subscribe, we appear all over the place, and we want to appear all over the place so more people can see us and our funny friends on this show. So please make sure you do that, and make sure you like our Facebook page. And thanks for showing the love, and make sure you light that comment section on fire. All right, and show these comedians the love they need because they're bringing us joy tonight.
Absolutely. The more interactiveness we have on the comedy shows, the better, because the comedians can respond in real time and really take their jokes to the next level. So lots of comments tonight, everybody.
Definitely. And before we get started, just so we can warm up everybody, John, anything new happening in your life?
Oh, you asked too fast, man. Just work as always. You and I are working on our script and just, being a family man. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Kind of transitioning from COVID times to starting to lighten up times and just seeing how other people are navigating that so that I can determine how I need to navigate that around other people to obviously yield the best results, because we still want to be safe while we're kind of reintroducing everybody to what we would consider more of normal real life type thing. So I've been giving that a lot of thought and being observant and seeing how I interact and how others interact so I can adjust myself accordingly. So that's kind of been in the back of my mind this week, since that here in Ohio, that just lightened up yesterday, actually. So it's new for us here in Ohio. I know some other states have already done it. I know some other states are going to do it. So it's just reacclimating to that and what that's going to look like, for this summer and really the rest of the year.
I agree. Yeah. For me, I'm just learning. I wanted to learn how to cough blood on command, just to get people to stay away from me. Because I'm not entirely sure if they are vaxxed or they're just saying they are and they don't want to pull out the card. So I'm at the point where if I could just learn to be a little bit more disgusting and get the 18-foot rule for my own self personally, I think that would be fantastic. I want to get an octopus dress with arms sticking out with razors and just in so I can keep people away from me. And it's not a COVID thing. It's just sometimes I need a me moment, and I need a me moment throughout the day.
So you need a me moment where you cut people?
Well, in that case, yes, I do. Because sometimes some people have janky breath. I don't feel comfortable being that close to me. Because here's the thing. I don't care. Some people, I'm sorry, they don't shower enough. They don't look. Some people look.
This is true. Yes, we've all worked with people like that before.
The new COVID strand in them. Okay, it looks like you when you go to Panera and you see that sign that says has been brewing since 12 o'clock. That's what they look like, but with COVID instead of coffee.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't like that old coffee. I'm like, are you brewing more? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, I guess I'll just take that orange scone and be on my way. Oh, we're out of orange scones. I'm like, what do you have? They're like, sir, it's 4 p.m. You're trying to order breakfast items. I'm like, you know what? You're right. Give me that bacon turkey Bravo and let's do this.
That's fair.
Jesse, I have a suggestion for you. If you want to be able to cough up blood on command, there's really an easy way to do this. It's very, very simple.
Do tell.
All we have to do is just get you a stomach ulcer, which we can actually look up the diet to give you to guarantee you get the ulcer. And then once you have the ulcer, man, it's on. And you can do exactly what you want to do. And look, ulcers are curable. So just get the side effects while you need them, get your business done, and then when it's all done, then we'll shift into healing mode, and we'll get that ulcer healed up.
He's right.
What's up, Chuck, I'm so glad Chuck's finally watching the live show. So Chuck is a near dear friend of mine. We've been friends for well over 15 years. He's a friend of my wife's, and he didn't have Facebook for the longest time, so he was watching the show on YouTube. I'm so excited to see that he is back and that he is watching the show live. Thank you. Oh, that means so much to me.
Well, speaking of which, let's get into it. Let's bring our first comedian to the stage. Our first comedian, when I first met her at Wild Goose. She was one of the first cool comics I met here in Columbus. Because before, I'm not going to lie, I was bullied heavily when I first came to Columbus comedy. And this person was loving, fantastic, and damn really funny. I remember when she did her little headline gig at Wild Goose, man. She packed that place to the gills. She had like the most killerific dress on. She was dressed to kill, and trust me, she killed that night. Please give it up, everybody, for Miss Amanda Ramirez, everybody. Please give it up. Yeah.
Howdy, grown-ups. Oh, is this what it looks like to be a grown-up?
Yeah.
Kill me.
Yeah, get ready, Amanda.
Jesse, thank you for giving me such a marvelous introduction. I don't ever know what I do, so it's nice to hear it from other people and hear the things that they remember. I really appreciate it. It makes me want to go on one more day in comedy. Every other day I want to quit, but it's times like that when you kiss my ass that make me feel really good.
Spoken like a true comedian.
Well, I was thinking about, I was digging in my vault this past weekend at my weekly gig, and I pulled out some jokes that I had never, either I had told once and was like, they're cliche, they're tacky, and I thought tonight would be a great night to bring them back after 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
Let's blow some dust on them. We're going to pretend, well, nobody fucking knows me. We're going to pretend like I'm still in the dating pool, right? And, and I started dating this nice guy, right? and I'm not used to it. Now, I consider you two to be very nice men as well. So I'm sure you can relate to when I say that as a woman, I am not used to this. Okay. I don't know how to be treated. I'm like a kicked dog that went to a nice home. I mean, it's kind of like one of those things where I'm just like, so you sure you don't want to ignore my texts or my phone calls for like 6 days? And then maybe contact me when you feel guilty. Or when you feel guilty and want to bang, like you're just calling to say hi, and I just talked to you like 2 days ago. This is weird. I'm not used to that. But I think the best part of our dates is, well, I'm gonna get a little candid here. It's when he pulls out his big, thick, like, wallet. Yeah. So it's a good time, and I tried to gauge how big that wallet was, and when I say wallet, I mean his penis. And so I'm making out with a nice guy, mind you. We had our first sleepover, and he didn't put the moves on me at all. We just made out the whole night. That's freaking nice. That's nice. That's like nicer than I was ever treated in junior high. Okay, by junior high, you tell me. You fill in the blank. You're trying to see some nips. Not this guy.
I mean, look, we know how we were in junior high, and yeah, the quest begins, of course.
Exactly. No, none of that. There was no nipples playing. There was nothing. It was just nice kissing. And the whole time I'm trying to figure out how big his schlong is without actually touching it. Because if you touch it, it's your problem. And you guys know that. As soon as she touches it, she's got to finish it. And I'm not doing that shit. No, I'm trying to turn over a new leaf. So I did like any other self-respecting person would do. When he fell asleep, I walked out to the living room and I looked at the shoes.
There you go.
It's fair, fair enough. Nice shoes, Jordans. I think they're last season, but that doesn't matter. They're clean. He's not rich, but he's got nice shoes. Anyway, oh God. So I'm trying to date for a reason, you guys. I have very weird friends, and all these weird friends just got married very recently. yourself included, Jesse. I know you just got married too, but you guys, congratulations to y'all. I think you guys might be in a little bit different boat. My friends, they're baby crazy.
Ooh,
like fucking to the weird degree. They're all trying to get knocked up, and they're all trying to get knocked up at the same time. And I'd like to tell you about two of my friends. All right.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
When you say knocked up at the same time, you mean they're all going to have babies? They're going to become pregnant around the same time, or they will become pregnant literally in the same room at the same time? There's a lot of questions there.
I'm thinking it's assembly line. Just line them up and go right down the line. Take care of business. Efficient.
That's exactly what's going to happen. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, that way it's timed perfectly. So I'm at my friend.
It's all about.
I'm at my friend Carly's house, and we're trying to have like a brunch thing. And I park my car and I walk up to her door. And as I walk past her car, it's full of just used baby shit packed to the brim. And I'm like, "What's going on here? What's all the baby stuff? You got some big news?" She goes, "Oh no, I'm just trying to get ahead of it. I'm just taking people's used baby shit and cleaning it up because I'll have a baby at some point." So there's really no punchline to that. I just wanted to tell you how weird she was.
And then collect this in case.
Tell me. And the next one, Julie, we're trying to plan this bachelorette party sexy thing, and we're talking, oh yeah, we'll go to Vegas, we'll get in the hot tub, we'll do all that kind of stuff. And Julie, did I say her name was Julie? Because I'm lying. That's not her name, but let's do that in case Julie is watching. She immediately goes, "Oh, if there's a hot tub, I don't think I should go in it. What if there's a baby in me at that point?"
Oh my God.
So this is the thing. If she doesn't know there's a baby in there, she's talking about a seedling, right? A little blastocyst, maybe? Julie, just get in the hot tub, you weird bitch.
You don't want to cook that baby, though. You know, I mean, it's already in the amniotic sac, and then you heat up the water. You don't want to cook the baby.
You're right. We should never cook the babies. I just understand. Perhaps I shouldn't pass my genetics on to other children. I mean, although I've been practicing throughout quarantine, I found out that my nice guy boyfriend and I have different tastes in toilet paper, right?
Okay.
He requires very soft, pillowy, Charmin-y stuff. Is that true for you too? No,
I need the ultra strong Charmin, the stuff that doesn't tear, doesn't flake, and gets the job done. One and done. That's it.
Charmin's still Charmin. What about you, Jesse?
I travel on the road a lot. As long as my finger doesn't break through and I get lucky, we're good.
There you go. Using your resources.
That's all.
Ass calluses. Okay, well, I'm the same way. I use one ply because that's how I was raised.
Oh wow!
And I don't see anything wrong with it. If I'm supposed to birth children, I mean, why not rough myself up with some sandpaper for like 32 years and get some calluses?
But you're gonna get poop on your fingers when it tears because it's only single ply.
You double wrap it. Do you do one of those things where you go like that?
Yeah, yes, I waste my money if that's what this means. I roll it up and I waste my money in a big wad, and then I just shove it in my ass and then down the drain.
This is a very revealing segment.
I didn't think it was gonna be that revealing, but it is.
This is what you get for having me on first.
Fair enough.
Hopefully the viewers haven't flowed in yet. We just get this out of the way. Well, it's nice to be here with you guys.
It's great to be here with you. And Amanda, right now you got a lot going on right now. Right now you got kind of a new hot ticket. Well, I shouldn't say new hot ticket. You've been there before.
Mm-hmm.
But you got a new kind of hot ticket in the town at Savor and Pints right now.
Savor and pint. Yes, savor pint.
Sorry. Oh my lord.
Hey, savor's a noun now. I like that. I dig that. Yeah, I'm at Savor Pint in Clintonville. It's an amazing venue. It's off Indianola, and it's great because it's a carry out. So you have all this fine craft beer plus cooler. So you have your shitty beer in the cooler. They keep it hidden. And then you've got the best chips that you could find in the back. So they only sell good chips. So there's no Lay's in sight. It's Mike Sells and Ballrich and the fancy pretzels, all the fanciest chips you could ever want. And then of course you can buy cigs, which is excellent for a lot of comedians because you can smoke them in the back, right?
Oh, nice.
Here's what makes the venue classy, you guys. So they got right. They got broken into quite a few times over COVID, and because they had giant windows in the front, so they just decided to move all their wine racks in front of the windows, with us creating the classiest backdrop for a person like me to perform. Right?
See, that makes
I do like that.
That makes so much sense now because. All right, because Amanda, when I performed there before, that's the same spot we were doing it. But when I saw the pictures, I'm like, why are they making them perform in that angle? So it's the same spot. They just moved everything. Oh, that's funny.
All the wine is in front. So from the top to the bottom, it's just wine, and you're just performing in front of just hundreds of bottles of wine.
I gotta get back out there and perform it. But basically, how's the room there? I mean, how many comedians do you think you have there on average a night?
On average a night, well, we've had a few shows and contests coming up, so we've been a little low the last 2 weeks, but we've been rolling for about 5-6 weeks now. In the first 3-4 weeks, we've averaged about 15 comics,
awesome,
which is good. That's the ideal number for that kind of venue. I probably would prefer a little less. Don't tell anybody I said that. But we really try to create it, intimacy and just things like that. So kind of the setup that we've done, and we're always constantly tweaking it. But
and I think you're going the right direction with that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, there was an open mic in town. And they said they had 45 comics on the show. Wow. And I even asked myself, I was like, why? Why would you do that? Because after 15, the show is really, it's over. It's over. But you seem to, right around that point, because here's the thing. There's a difference between, appeasing all the comics in the area and wanting to give them stage time, but then choking out the audience mentally. Because, because the audience is going to be melted. Now, it's different. I know some people will be like, well, the Laugh Factory and the improv and the comedy, everything out in L.A. does that. I'm like, yeah, but when you got Chappelle, Chris Rock, Bill Burr, back to back, you ain't going to bitch about being there for 4 hours. You're going to watch that and enjoy it. Not to say that our town doesn't have a talent of caliber, but draw is definitely an important thing because literally I only let me put it this way. This weekend I had to do a private show. I loved where I was doing the private show, but I was in a campground. Weird. At one point, some guy went on stage where I was, and he was like, "You got a light?" Had no clue there was a show going on.
No.
Some crazy guy screaming about shit. And then I had 5 people in the back. And again, this is all trailer parks and stuff like that. And they're just the most white trashiest teenagers. And I literally screamed, Can someone tell the Walmart Breakfast Club to shut the fuck up?
Perfect, man. Perfect.
But again, you gotta be quick with the audience because the audience can show love and they can show disdain real quickly. Now here's another question. So you're one of the few mics that is on a Saturday, which is really an envious spot for stand-up. So tell us a little bit more about that. Do you feel that it improves the room, improves your performances, or whatnot?
Well, let's see. Saturday was per the suggestion of the venue, which is a high, it's a high honor because, they're coming to me to the bring the entertainment on the most premier night at this bar. And so the best way that I can describe how things run or how it's received on the Saturday night is, number one, as we get older, we find ourselves working a lot more like our boring ass parents, right? You got your 9 to 5 or your 2 to 11, and it sucks and it stinks, and you'd really like to come out to the comedy spots, but again, it's one of those things like I don't know if I want to drive into town and get drunk while I wait for my 5 minutes till midnight. And that's no offense, because I think that that's also how you build that camaraderie. Definitely something that I did when I was first starting out, but now I'm just like, oh man, I really love all you guys, but can I just be home by like can I be home at a reasonable hour?
Right.
Can I just
you got to get your 8 hours in,
get my energy and put it out on Saturday. And so what I feel that my show does is we perform for the audience, and I know that's like a stupid, like very basic thing to say, but if you're coming to Savor Pint to do your set, you will have an audience. And sometimes that audience is very preoccupied with what they're doing. There's birthday parties there. There's, bachelor parties, tying one on over there. And so being able to be in that space where people are just doing what they want to do, not to mention the people that are coming in just to shop and get their case and leave. There's a certain kind of folk that frequent Savor Pint, and it's those that really enjoy really like working that crowd, that really enjoy. I mean, there was one time there was a birthday party when we first started, and they were the most obnoxious birthday party ever. I mean, just these like waspy little like tarts. And we ended up giving the birthday boy a roast, and it was amazing. I mean, it's just one of those things where it was the best roast of my life. I mean, and of course, we're just like, okay, we probably had like 5 or 6 comics like kind of passing the mic around, and they're all like, oh, I got one, and it was just definitely one of the highlights of that mic. So yeah, I don't know, Saturday just works, and I can charge a premium rate.
There you go.
There you go. Now the comedian her just finally came out. I love it.
There it is.
Everybody, give it up for her. Now let's bring our next comic out. Good
job, Amanda.
Your next and like I said, make sure I even made this. Why am I forgetting it? Ta-da! Savor Pints. 8 p.m. Saturday, Clintonville. Be sure to go check it out.
Check out the show.
Thank you guys. It's been great.
Our next comic coming to the stage, I recently featured for him. He headlined at 31 West, Newark, Ohio. This guy is, without doubt, one of the funniest comics on stage and one of the nicest guys on and off stage. He might have been on this show more than any other guest. I'm trying to count right now.
Maybe.
He's up there. He might have the title with this show.
Ryan and Nigel, I think, are all right in there, right in tune for that.
We're going to have to calculate this thing. But, man, this guy, whether he's raging on stage, on Facebook, getting into Facebook jail, stay out. He is always cracking us up everywhere he is. Please give it up for my good friend, everybody, Mr. Bill Arrundale, everybody. Mr. Bill. Oh, let's get him out of here. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Bill.
Hey, Jeff, I'm just curious. Did you say that you wanted to be a cough up blood on people?
Yes, I do.
I thought you meant like you wanted to pop wood like instantly, like get in action when people are talking to you. Because that would also be a great way to keep people away.
Is that how you gauge how into the conversation you are? Is like if you got your meat arrow pointing like ahead or up or back, whatever,
I'm glad you guys have a backstage area, or else you've seen me for the last 20 minutes fucking around with my phone camera. My employer loves to send out coffee much more than anything else in the world to us. So I've got this Wile E. Coyote mixture of cogs on top of little boxes trying to balance my phone so that I have the right angle. It looks like right out of Home Alone. It's a complete mess. I'm afraid to even sneeze or it's going to topple. I went to the gym today.
Okay.
Worked out for around 40 minutes, mostly Kegels.
Yes.
That works.
I figured it was time to go. My Fitbit says I've been dead for 3 days, so no, it's I do a lot of like online tech support, and so people come in with all kinds of weird questions, like getting these really obnoxious, sexually suggestive texts. And my first inclination as a comic is to say, "Are they hot?" Could you describe the text and what you were wearing when you received it?
Seems like a fair assessment.
Oh man.
We recently became dog parents within the last 2 years.
Oh.
I feel weird calling myself a dog parent, or anyone who calls themselves a fur parent or something. It's not that there's anything wrong with it, but unless your child or whoever it is that you're a parent of can tell you to fuck off at some point, you're not really a parent. You know what I mean? I mean, they depend on you
Absolutely.
for food, and it's just not the same. We have the 2 dogs.
Okay.
And the big one loves to lick his own asshole. Just loves it.
Just loves it.
It's a pastime.
Right.
And it doesn't bother me that he does it, but that he does it so voraciously, so enthusiastically. He's like,
Oh, did we lose Bill?
We lost Bill for a second. All right, we'll get him back.
All right, we'll stall for a second. I love where he was going with like how his dog is the ass licking champion. Like, that's amazing. I wonder if that dog goes around and licks the other asses of the other dogs to ensure they're all equally clean.
That could be. Could be. Oh, wait. Bill's back.
Hey, Bill's back.
hey, Wile E. Coyote, the whole thing just toppled over, and I think I lost my internet connection. Sorry about that.
Oh no.
No, you're good.
So anyway, I was saying that he's the dog itself he's like the Cookie Monster when he's down there. He's just like
Oh my God.
And it's because if I'm eating something, he'll come and sit there and he'll beg for a bite. And then sometimes I'll offer him one, and he sniffs it, and then turns his head away. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Chef Ramsay." Like, we fly it daily.
Oh, man.
Chef Ramsay.
Not enough ass smell. Poo poo.
So, do you have any questions? I put a Q&A on here, I think.
Oh man.
Yes, we do have a few Q&A.
Oh.
So, all right, everybody. Give it up for Bill, everybody, real quick. Bill, that's the one thing I'm going to say I had always loved about your style. It always felt like when you get on stage, you're just lighting off like a rib of firecrackers. And then until the show's over, it's pop, 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 pop. Joke, 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 joke. Now, when writing it, how do you start with a long setup and you try to cut that thing down, or do you find yourself thinking up short setups?
No, I don't. I don't. I'm not really. I don't really do long setups. I mean, it's always kind of real simple setup and then a punch, a setup and a punch. I mean, I wish I could do. Sometimes I see somebody like Bill Burr who'll just be talking for minutes, and it'll just build and build and build, and one punchline at the end and just completely pays off. I would love to be able to do that, but I'm not interesting enough to do that. So, yeah, fire thing.
Yeah, but I think there's such an advantage to having that style that you have. I mean, if you got like a rough room, and we've been in rooms. I remember the one room you and I were in. There was a strip pole in the middle of it. Do you remember the room I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
was fun.
Yeah, and it was a room where you had to be joke, and you were just pulverizing them down to the point where they were paying attention, they were laughing, they were having a good time. So it does pay to have. Now, did you always have that sort of style of comedy to you, or was it something you felt you had to grow into?
I mean, I would say so. Keep people's attention, because I'm here to repost something. So I want to keep people's eyes focused on me and not having their minds wander too much, which, of course, is a problem with cell phones because everyone's on their cell phone. Even after they bought a ticket to come into a show, they're on their cell phone, which I just don't get,
I don't get that stuff either because it's like you're be in the moment. The one thing I started doing is I've been putting my phone away. Like when I come into my apartment, sometimes I just put my phone in this little bowl and I leave it there for a few hours. Just stay away from it because like sometimes you just gotta enjoy what's around you, enjoy everything because you miss out on certain things. I mean, especially with a live performance. So many live performances happen so damn quick. If you miss something that happened in the room and the comedian comments on it, you have no frame of reference. You're stuck at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. But let me switch gears over. I wanted to talk a little bit about. We talked about it on the show before, but I wanted to, for new viewers that are joining us, I want to talk about it. You've written roasts for some really incredible Comedy Central roasts. And if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, I remember Charlie Sheen was one of them you wrote for?
Yeah, as a contributing writer. Yeah, Charlie Sheen, Joan Rivers, and what was the other one? It was David Hasselhoff.
Man.
Oh, wow, you got the Hoff, man.
The Hoff.
Well, I wrote jokes for Jeffrey Ross. So.
Wow, that's huge.
I'm open to writing jokes for other people, not just Jeffrey Ross, but no, at this point, I don't think I would send anything into him. I know that he's kind of got some. There's been a lot of rumors about him. He's to read all that to know the guy's a creep. You just look at him and like, just this guy, he's up to no good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can kind of tell. You
can see the progression over the years.
You can pop wood at will. So if I can hook Jesse up with him.
What if he did that when he was doing his prison special? How would that have gone over? When he was doing his prison special, if he was popping wood on command.
Yes.
That would have been that would have been dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Jesse, when's your birthday?
The 28th of February.
Oh, okay. Well, you should do a roast of yourself. I mean, seriously, set up a show somewhere, invite people out. I'd love to make fun of you for a few minutes.
I'm honored but insulted just a little bit. Like, Jesse,
let's do it.
Jesse, a lot of people have an axe to grind with you, so you should just do this roast.
Right.
No, I love Jesse because he's still very excited to do comedy, and it's not like most people were doing it as long as I have. It's like is very happy to do it, and so it's always cool to see that.
Well,
it's very inspiring.
With you, my friend. It's amazing to watch you work. Like I said, I've described it off stage to somebody as it's like a surgical procedure. It's very precise. You know where the joke's gonna hit. It hits hard. It hits strong. It's very funny always. And I'll tell you, man, if I were to do a roast, and now you got me interested, I think we could do an At the Grown Ups Table Presents roast. If we do that, there's no other person I would want on this roast but you, my friend, because I feel like you would demolish me, which I would love to see that. I would love to see that. I'm a person that loves to get roasted more than giving a roast. So
I actually wanted to do that for my birthday last year. I thought about just inviting like every comic in Central Ohio, and I just all of them like at the end of a Godfather movie, just like picking them off one at a time, and then just fade back into obscurity where I belong.
Well, that's something we could do, my friend. I would definitely put out a big giant event, the Roast of Bill Arrundale, because then, man, once you come back for your rebuttal, man, at the end of the show, we'll have to burn the stage down afterwards, man. There's gonna be nothing left.
Bill's gonna be sitting there just taking it like, and then he gets his final 10 minutes where he's just gonna annihilate everybody and own that by the end of the night.
But yeah, the most scariest thing of the whole show is Bill will be taking notes.
Oh, Jesse said this? Got it.
That's so
When are you guys going to start recording in person again?
Ooh, that's actually a good question. We've talked about it, and we kind of have a plan on what we want the first show to be like in terms of it being live. So at this point, we have to basically write up a proposal of what the show mechanically will look like so that we can start shopping at the venues, find a venue that's interested, and then we just have to negotiate from there in terms of, financially what that looks like to host it.
Because what we want to do is we want to do this in front of a live audience, but then have moments of stand-up where comics can perform and do a type 5 and kill in front of an audience. Yeah, we have a lot of plans we want to do with this, and definitely want to include everybody that's on the show. So yeah, we'll once we figure that out, we'll let everybody know. But it's in the process, my friends. And that's the one thing about John and I. We take our time with this stuff because we don't want to rush it. And
no. I mean, I totally understand. I was just referring to like a regular show, like a regular Wednesday show that you do.
We'll probably
the video component.
Yeah, we'll probably use the video component until we get a sound schedule. Pandemic threw us off, so once we and him have a sound schedule for how we want to do this, we'll get back into it. Because I know I'll be moving into a new place. I'm hoping to turn parts of it into a studio. So more to come with that, everybody. But very good question. Those types of questions make me excited to do this stuff, man.
It inspires us.
It'll be the Infinilla Studios.
Ooh, yeah, we haven't thought of a name yet. I like that.
What's called it could be Jacob and Pimpinella. There we go. Jacob.
I like it, man.
Is it Pimpinella with a P, or is it just a P?
Pimpinella. Zuckerberg wants me to send my ID in to prove, because my mother's maiden name is Pimpinella, and that's what I go by. But I ain't sending Zuckerberg my ID. That's just too scary.
So that's what Darth actually had to do in order for him to go by Darth on Facebook, because his middle name is actually Darth. That is his legal middle name, and he had to send Zuckerberg a copy of his ID to prove it in order to use Darth on Facebook, which he got permission, and he's now allowed to go by that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. He had to do a whole big thing for it. It was crazy.
Yeah, but
that's insane. I mean, I guess it's worth a lifetime of being beat up at school, but.
I finally got to be
I'm
Darth.
just kidding. I mean, I'm sure if I told people my name was Darth, I would have got my ass kicked more than I already was.
But I like the idea of what Jesse's talking about, and that's one thing that we really want to do is we still want to feature the local talent like we do on this show on the live show, because that's very important to us, is to kind of pay it forward for all the people that have helped us. but also just in general helping other people and letting them break out into performance arts and do the things that they like, so being able to do that live is really important for us because, like Jesse said, that's going to get people the stage time in front of an audience, and it's a little bit different of a format than, let's say, like a standard open mic show, which there's nothing wrong with that, but like we've tried to do with this show, we really want to try to be unique and try to do something different that kind of stands out and that people will enjoy because it's different and they feel entertained when they watch the show. So we want to offer a little bit of everything, to people so that people can find that one thing that they really like about the show and kind of grow with us and evolve into the show with us.
And yeah, I'd love to do a interpretive dance if possible, if you have enough.
I am holding you to this, Bill, and I'll tell you what, I will learn the dance with you, and you and I can do a duo jig on stage together, man. It'll be like river dance, dude.
I would love to see that.
We could dress all in black and everything.
Have those ribbons and everything.
Yes, the ribbons, the tap shoes. Oh, yeah. I'm down, 100%. That would be hilarious. I'd probably throw out my back, but it would be worth it.
Well, we have to wrap up right there, gentlemen. But real quick before we get to our next segment, real quick, Bill Arrundale, everybody, give it up for him.
Yeah, Bill.
Thank you.
Second all, Nigel. He said, "Are we roasting Jesse?" I'm in.
Absolutely.
Everybody wants. I guess everybody wants a piece of me.
I'll tell you what, Nigel
One day.
will fly in from Maryland to Columbus just so he can roast you. You don't believe me? He'll do it.
I feel like to roast Jesse, though, you have to have one roast that's just for Jesse and one roast for his nose.
Oh,
shit.
shit. There it was. Amanda was sitting on that, man.
Was
Oh,
awesome.
my
She
God.
She came. All right.
Amanda. Oh, that was
Jesus,
beautiful.
all right.
Look at Jesse's face right now. Zero comeback. He's got nothing. Look
I
at
got
him.
none.
He can't even contain himself. He's
Look,
out. That's done.
I tapped. That was a good one. That was a very good one. But Amanda, I know it came from the heart. But all right.
Oh, that was great.
All right, well, let's give it up for our next comic. Next comic coming to the stage. He's a friend of the show. He's been on many times. One of the great things I love about this guy, he gave me one of my first paid gigs in Columbus. When I first started out, I was like, I don't know anybody here, and everybody wasn't giving me a chance. I remember this guy giving me a chance at the Rehab Tavern that he was running. That was so cool with him.
Yeah.
That was a blast. I shared a picture from that show because they had a lot of cool artwork in there. But anyways, this guy is very funny, hell of a blog writer. Like I said, he better be putting out more blogs because I'm going to be doing it myself. Please, without further ado, give it up for Mr. Chris Coen, everybody. Chris.
Woo!
He's coming out. There he is.
There he is.
Boom. There he is.
Yeah. I remember my first paid show. I kept the flyer, which was like a 2007 awful flyer. Made with like Windows 95, and then I had my $40 and I put it in a frame, and then like 3 days later I needed beer, so I broke the frame.
So inspiring.
Yeah. Precious
Making
memories.
tough decisions, you know. You got to do what you got to do.
I just imagine you punch out the glass and take the money.
Hey, that's 2 30 packs and like a tall boy, so it's worth it. The memories or whatever. I'm gonna lose my.
Oh man. Well, before we get started, I just want to say, Chris, thank you as well for joining the show. And much like Jesse, one of the best memories I have for you is you gave me my first paid gig. So look at this. You got first paid gigs people on this show with Chris. So Chris is a great guy. He runs great shows, and we're really happy to have him on the show today.
Well, I like to have newcomers because they don't know how awful bar shows are. So
You gotta break their will a little bit.
Yeah. My first paid show was in a bowling alley, so I started off huge. In a tiki bar attached to a bowling alley, so even worse. So
walking around those tiki glasses.
I wish. I took a bucket of beer and finished it by the end of my set. If that tells you how awful I was. So.
Oh man.
Here's my transition.
Oh man, this is great.
Oh, jeez.
So it was a good time. No, I'm excited to be back. I went on a family vacation with 2 kids under 6, which was just a horrible idea. It's
Why is it horrible?
like, we need to relieve stress. Let's add a shitload of stress and debt and go somewhere else and do that.
It's the truest statement ever. It really is. That's all vacations are. Let's go further in debt and get more stressed out.
Yeah, but in my 20s, it was like, let's go somewhere. So when I wake up at noon and I'm hungover, I'll have something different to look at. And now it's like when my son wakes up at 4 a.m. and I'm hungover, I'll suffer in a different place. And there's a lot of money involved in it. So it's a lot of fun.
Oh, man.
We went up to Lake Erie. It was actually interesting. We were packing for 4 days because my wife was planning everything. So, we started packing like last December for a 3-day trip. And, we're finally almost ready to go. And then the guy that we were renting the place from called and said, hey, there's a massive nor'easter, blah, blah, blah. The bridge is washed out. You can't make it to the place. What do you want to do?
What do you want to do?
Yeah, well, I'll defer to your expert opinion. When you said the bridge was washed out, I'll probably not be up today. That's
I like how he literally asked you.
Yeah, he asked me like, "Oh, thank God you called," because I was going to put nitrous in the minivan and ramp the river like Bo and Luke do.
With the horn as you hit the ramp.
Yeah.
Hold on, kids.
It was hilarious when he asked me. I'm like, well, I'm probably not going to make it. He's like, are you sure? And the bridge is washed out. And he was like, yeah, the condo may be flooded. It's like, oh, well, that's good enough for me and my 2 young children and wife. Let's risk it. That sounds good.
Sometimes you just gotta.
He's like, I'll call you in an hour with an update. I'm like, I don't think the bridge is going to be unflooded in like an hour. How about you just call me tomorrow? And then he never called. Like, we had to check in. So my daughter, if you've never been around young children, knew that she was going to get to go to a pool, which means she asked me about it at least 730 times an hour.
Yep.
From whenever we told her until, like even in her sleep, she would wake up and talk about pools. It was, I'm still having nightmares about it. And, so she thinks she's going to a pool. And I was like, I got to find a place with a pool. And as it turns out, the local pool delayed its opening, which was really nice of them to do. I hate them now. And I called 2 indoor water parks, and the one had 1 room left, and that was it. The other one was booked complete. And the lady's like, well, we have 1 room left. And then she starts describing the room to me. And it's like, would that room suit your needs? I'm like, well, you literally have 1 room, again with the stupid ass questions. It's Memorial Day weekend. I'm calling you like the day of, like, I didn't. Well, I would prefer a bidet instead of a traditional toilet, so I think we'll turn you down. So. So we went up and we spent a shitload of money. The next morning, the guy's calling me. Like, I texted him a couple of times, like, "Hey, any updates? Like, we have to check out in like 3 minutes, so it'd be nice to know if we can go there or go home or whatever." He's like, "Oh yeah, it's all clear." I'm like, "All clear as in like it's not flooded, like the apartment's not." "Oh yeah, it's good." And he's like, "I was really worried about. There's one that was 3 inches lower on the elevation than yours." He starts talking about this other place. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, if the other place is flooded, that's fine. Is mine okay?
I just care about the place I rented, man.
Well, luckily I threw a sump pump in, which my wife actually may have thrown in because we were packing for 5 weeks. So it's, so we got up there and it was fine, except for, there were literally dead animals washed up on the little beach area, which a lake isn't really a beach anyway. It's just like dirty and gross. And there was like dead fish and dead geese and like eggs washed up, and so of course my daughter's like stepping on all of it. Yeah. It was very relaxing.
I just picture your daughter walking down this horrible beach, just like squashing fish as she goes. Is this dead? Is this dead?
They had like 40-mile-an-hour winds, and I guess the bridge like elevated from 15 degrees down to 15 degrees up. The water was so bad, and
wow,
it looked like someone took a wood chipper and literally drove through everyone's front yards. There was like dead wood everywhere, and
Oh my!
and I didn't give a shit because like I had a thermos full of just Dewar's scotch, like literally just. Everyone's like, "Are you gonna have a beach drink?" I'm like, "It's straight scotch."
There's no
80 proof. Yeah, so I'm like, I it's amazing I didn't give a shit anymore about the dead fish. So it was, but yeah, it was a good time. The guy that was next to me actually said his wife went to get groceries the day the storm hit, and she got stuck on the other side, and all he had was like kids snacks for like 4 hours. And he had like 2 kids by kids' age, and he said it was like chaos. I was like, yeah, I almost drove across the bridge underwater, but luckily I held off. But he had to literally walk across the bridge and pick up his kids' groceries and walk them back like a mile across this bridge.
Geez.
Yeah, it sounded horrendous, but
yeah, man, that's not really a vacation.
No. So, and then my daughter projectile vomited 7 times on the way out. So yeah, no, it was very relaxing. I'm super refreshed.
Was any of it directed in your direction?
Of course, I got puke on me, but it's amazing. Like when you have kids, you just don't give a shit. Like I saw my buddy, he had kids before I did, and his daughter vomited on him, and I'm like shaking, and now I'm just like, vomit? That's all you got? Like whatever.
I mean, when you potty train a kid, you get it all on you. So beyond that and getting puked on, you're good for the rest of your life. Like that doesn't faze you anymore.
Yeah, no, it's funny. It's just like whatever, like I from having a dog, like I know which grocery stores I shop at so I can pick up dog shit without it ripping, like Giant Eagle better than Kroger in my opinion, like less chance for dog shit on my hand. So, that's but whatever. What are you gonna do?
Oh man. It seems like you had one hell of a vacation, I'll tell you.
Right. Yeah, it was fun, It was better than family pictures, in all honesty. That's to me, like family pictures are the worst thing. I mean, like if you drew a scale personality and you had Jesse and you had Bill, like I'm over here with Bill, like definitely. So when we get family pictures, like if I smile for more than 3 seconds, my face hurts. Like it aches like right here, and they're like, "We haven't even started yet." I'm like, shit. Like I have to like stretch my face. Like it's.
I mean, you have to mentally prepare for it as the dad.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's funny. I have slightly crooked teeth or whatever, and like no one really notices. But like, I remember in 6th grade, I could have got braces, and I was like, no, I don't want to look like a nerd. I'd rather have fucked up teeth for the next 47 years. Like I wish I could go back and just slap the shit out of 6th grade and be like, no one likes you anyway. You're annoying. You're awkward. Like just at least get your teeth fixed, So that's like kids make any decisions, So
get your teeth fixed, man.
Yeah. God forbid I was a nerd at 10 like everybody. So I'll just have smile issues and whatever for the rest of my life. So that was a great move. I'm just trying to save money, so it's all work for her.
Braces are it's so crazy, the stuff that we kind of perceived as not being cool back then, and now it's not that big a deal anymore, and it's like, I should have just did it. Like I wish I had glasses when I was younger, because like right now I feel like my vision is horrific. Like it's just passable. It's just passable. Like I've read things, and my wife has just looked at me like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm not okay. I'm not okay at all." Like, and it's like it's weird because like I think I'm a little bit dyslexic, Like there was I remember there was a movie at when Movie Gallery was a thing, right?
Oh,
And it was that Baby Daddy was the movie, and I'm like, I literally read it as Raby Daddy, which I was like, this is a fucked up, which I was like, this is a fucked up movie. I watched it. I think you know what I mean? Like, because I'll watch any trashy B movie. Let's do this, Raby Daddy.
I love it, man. Like, this could be our next project.
A woman gets pregnant by a raccoon, and then the raccoon comes back after 9 months for the baby. And
yeah,
The
sequel's when the kid gets teeth and it can bite. You know that'd be
and then the future version of the kid comes back in time, slaps the shit out of him for not getting braces on them shark teeth.
It's funny because I was talking to one of my buddies about being a kid and being awkward, and his like worst memory of like late elementary was he wanted a pair of British Knights, the shoes.
Yes.
And his mom got him Britannias instead. And it like traumatized him for like 3 years. Ironically, both are shitty pairs of shoes.
Man, I remember when British Knights like dominated though, man. Everybody had them. I had those ones that had like the diamonds in the bottom. Those were a big
diamond
deal.
technology, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because we all know you run and jump better with an unbreakable object in the middle of your like foot.
Right. These will make you jump a foot higher. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I think Amanda and I, all we can think about our childhood shoes were Heelys. Do you remember Heelys?
Oh, you're making me feel old now, man.
I'm looking up British Knights, and actually they look pretty damn
look
fly.
them up is just concerning.
It is. I'm sorry, you're old.
I am. I apologize. I'm sorry. I was
It's such a
born
weird brand name. British
bad.
Knights, like Knights wore sneakers or something. They don't.
If they would have been more agile.
Exactly.
Maybe.
You know, put some spurs on them. You're off your mind.
Oh, okay. Speaking of shoes, since you're talking about Heelys, Jesse, I went to an antique shop up in Delaware, and it was crazy because they had just a wall full of like older vans, from maybe when we were all in school, and it's like, So I take it if you wore any of these vans back in high school, it's time to get your prostate checked now. Okay, noted.
Pretty much.
It's like one of those signs. It's like one of those signs when you go into a bar. If you were born after this date, you can't drink.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
If you wore this pair of shoes, you were old enough to drink today.
It's weird. Fashion trends are funny to me because I'm from a small town, so like we were always like 5 years behind everything anyway. Like when grunge hit big in like 91, 92, 93, like everyone was already wearing flannels, so like there was no transition for that one. Like I still had girls in my high school in the mid 90s that had like the big sprayed up bangs and shit, and like, they were just starting to go away.
You just finally got your members only jacket.
Yeah. Hey, don't knock the members only jacket. I'm about to buy one. It's coming back.
Every younger people talk about trends, and I act like I'm younger. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that was cool in high school, but it's only because I'm from a small town, not because I'm young and virile. It's just that it's so backwards.
Oh man. But hey, we gotta wrap up. But real quick, give it up for I gotta do it this way. Give it up for Chris, everybody. Give it up for Chris, man. And make sure you check out ChrisCoenComedy.com, everybody. Go check it out. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Bill. I know Bill, he lost connection. He had to life threw him off our show, but he'll be back. He'll always be back. But anyways, thank you so much for everybody who joined in with us. Comment section, Shep, Nigel, thank you so much. I wanted to say a quick little shout out I want to give out right now if I can. It's to our friend Ryan Francis. I want everybody to know about this because it's a thing, and here it is. Give me 1 second. Let me find it. Boo, boo, boo. I can't play because Facebook will get angry at me because we don't own it. But he has made a music video, guys. It's called Callie the Cat featuring Callie. Please go check it out. Like it, subscribe it. I'm going to put the link in the comments section for the show today. Please go support our friend Ryan. He has always been cool to us, and we want to make sure we're definitely cool to him with that. But other than that, thank you, everybody, for tuning into the show. Tune in next week. We'll be back at 7 o'clock. And until then, I'm Jesse.
And I'm John.
And you've been sitting at the grown-ups table. Thank you, and have an awesome night, everybody. Take care, everybody. See ya.
Thanks, everybody, again. Great show.
All right, we're going off.